I just got this email from my bank saying they were going to charge me my annual fee for my home loan package, which is basically a fee for having an offset account. So I thought to myself, why not take a closer look and see if this offset account is actually saving me money? And the answer might surprise you. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how interest is calculated on your mortgage and how an offset account works. We'll then take a look at if my offset account is actually saving me money. And then finally, if you're using an offset account, I'm going to give you my key tips to make sure that it's working for you. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. You should seek the help of a professional before you make any changes to your financial position. Interest is calculated on your loan daily and then is accrued to your loan, which is another word for being added to your loan, generally on a monthly basis. So as your loan balance ticks along, interest is being calculated each and every day. Then you make a repayment, which lowers the balance, and now interest is calculated on this lower loan balance. I've made a separate video on this where I discuss this in a bit more detail, which I'll leave in the link down below. Now let's say you have some savings tucked away that you don't want to put on your loan balance. Perhaps you're saving it for a rainy day, saving it for a holiday, something like that. What an offset account does is allows you to put money into this account and take it out as you will. And then this account is linked to your loan balance. So interest, instead of being calculated on your full loan balance, it is calculated on your full loan balance less the value that's in the offset account. To put some numbers around this, say you had an $800,000 home loan and a $50,000 savings in your offset account. So in this instance, interest isn't calculated on the $800,000 home loan. Interest is calculated on $750,000, being the $800,000 home loan less the $50,000 that's in the offset account. So now when looking at my home loan, I've got to tell you some assumptions that we're working with. So I bought a house in Brisbane around the median house price at the time, and my interest rate is around 5 to 6%. So I'm a bit of a finance nerd. I actually use an Excel spreadsheet to calculate what my interest should be on my loan, and then I compare that to what the bank actually charges me to make sure they're not ripping me off. So this is a kind of a mock-up of what I use. You can see that I make my repayments fortnightly, and then I use formulas to calculate what my interest should be. So for this particular month, the interest totaled $3,502.93. And in the final formula here, I just had to take off $4. So my spreadsheet works pretty well, about a $4 error, which is not a big deal. So this helps me calculate my interest. Then when you actually open up an offset account, the bank doesn't really tell you how much interest you're saving. So the way I calculated it was still using my spreadsheet, calculating what my interest should have been if I didn't have an offset account, and compare that to the interest the bank was actually charging me. And I noticed that the variance started to get bigger in my favor, meaning that the offset account was starting to work. Now, an important thing to note here is that I had around $5,000 to $6,000 of savings in the offset account. That fluctuated a little bit, but that's the general balance through the period. And with that, I was saving around $30 a month in interest. Sometimes it was a bit lower, sometimes it was a bit higher as that balance fluctuated in the offset account. So just shy of 1 year, I've saved a total of $389 in interest by using the offset account. But my annual fee for using the offset account is $395. So you can see that I've barely broken even, or in actual fact, as the 1 year rolls over, I would have only just saved a little bit of money as a result of having this offset account. Now, some key tips to make sure your offset account is working for you. You can see with my loan balance and my interest rate that a $5,000 to $6,000 of savings in the offset account wasn't worth it. I haven't really saved any money. You would want to at least double that amount of money in your offset account to make sure it was worthwhile. A key consideration for this is if you have a large sum of money sitting in an offset account, that will only ever save you whatever the prevailing interest rate is at that time. A good question to ask yourself is, could that money be put to better use? Could you be earning a higher rate of return than the interest rate that you are saving in your offset account? So could that money be put into the stock market, into shares, and earn a higher rate of return than the interest rate is on your home loan? But that is a topic for another video. And there are different kinds of home loan packages. A basic no frills home loan package, which doesn't include an offset account, still normally includes a redraw facility, which is very similar to an offset account with just a few more restrictions. And this could be fine for most people. The next package up from a basic package normally includes an offset account. However, if you have to pay a higher interest rate just to get this offset account, then it's very questionable if it's worth it, because you're already at a worse off position before you can even try and save money in using an offset account. Let's take a look at an example. Now, this is just one example using St. George, but all the banks are pretty much the same. Let's look at the basic variable rate home loan. When I click on this, the interest rate is, let's say, 6.29%. Now, if I go to that same home loan, however, the next package up that has an offset account, the starting interest rate is 7.39%. So if we then compare the two to see how much more interest we pay over the life of our loan, in a basic package at 6.29%, you pay roughly $983,000 over the life of your loan. However, if you step that up to an advanced package with an offset account and take an interest rate of 7.39%, the interest over the life of your loan is $1.1 million. That's an additional $200,000 of interest you are worse off just for having an offset account. And you have to try and make that up over the life of your loan by using an offset account. I was very lucky in that I was able to obtain an offset account without any increase in interest rate. So if an offset account is something that you really want, have a look at the difference between those interest rates and see if you can negotiate that with your bank, or see if you can ask them to waive the annual admin fee. If this information was really helpful, make sure you punch that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to hear more from me, consider subscribing and joining our community. See you in the next video.